Hi YouTube, I hope you're all doing good. I'm okay. It is like pretty cold out. I went out, I'm waiting for a package Doug's got coming. I might have to sign for it. So if I get interrupted, I'll be back whenever I can be. But anyway, so like I said, if I hear something and it's been so noisy out there, I don't know. I think our neighbors might be building something and that could be echoing through the woods. We had a friend and neighbor, their house burnt down um, this fall and this past fall. And so I'm hearing like construction vehicles and noises, and so I might be a little distracted. It's really been noisy here, just crazy. I've been like trying to get stuff done, but and waiting for that kind of, I don't know. Anyway, some crazy because our road is usually pretty quiet. So when there's no noise on it like this, it's different. So anyway, yeah. I mean, really different. I just heard a dump truck go by, and then you can hear them when they hit bumps in the boxes when they're empty. And so, like I say, yeah, we have a gravel pit on the other side of the creek. Well, we don't own it, our neighbors do, but just about everybody that lives around here has gotten some fill for their driveways and different things that they've built around here out of the gravel pit. It's called what they call run out. There's really no gravel in it, it's mostly sand because they've taken all the gravel out of the hill. That happened a long time ago, probably close to 40 years at least that the gravel's been pretty much gone out of there. So, yeah. I don't know. I've been thinking about these kids that have in BLM and other groups that are destroying other people's property. It's like, and people are like, well, where are their parents? Well, not all those kids have parents, although that's not their fault. And even if the parent's working, that's not their fault either. What do you do? It's pretty much a mess. My thing is I feel bad for the kids themselves because I sure see I tried to open up a youth center in my town. My kids had gone to live with their dads, yeah, their dad. And oh, sorry, just a minute, I'll fix you. Okay, maybe not. Hang on. So, yeah, they went to live with him, and I was kind of bored out of my mind. Well, then too, I knew they'd be back someday, but I did. I talked to our chamber of commerce, and I talked to my local stores and businesses, and a lot of people that were working parents. See, that's what my thing was when I had my kids with me. I had trouble finding babysitters, and I actually didn't want to leave them with anybody. And they weren't little babies like nursery school type or anything like that, but um I always wished that I had had a place to go to after school where I could do my homework and maybe play a game of pool or foosball, and um the I would have been able to give them like popcorn and juice and different things or whatever, like a after school snack, graham crackers, or you know what I mean, um, without a food license. I had the building all picked out and everything. Even the banker, he was all for it. In one of our biggest banks here, for his kids, he would have made, and all these people were willing to make donations. There was only one thing about it: the building that I wanted to use was right across from the high school, and which was at that time uh, old arena for a hockey arena, and it had an office and other rooms and that type of stuff. So, but it was just right outside our city limits, and the board of directors and stuff, they refused to work with us on the whole thing, so it didn't work out. But if we had just had them in agreement, just takes one people to really foil good plans. And I had all kinds of people that would volunteer, like the pool table and different things, and um, furniture and desks for like, and tables for like in a quiet room area where the younger people could be separated from the older ones, and we could kept an eye on them instead of having like latchkey kids in our community, that type of thing. So yeah, but it didn't work out. So oh well, I did try. But yeah, I would like to see more youth centers for these kids. I mean, I used to get on a bus and I'd go down to the women's YMCA and use the pool and jump on their trampoline and, keep myself pretty busy. I think it was like you could buy like a year membership or something for like $2. It was something kind of like just crazy, crazy cheap. I mean, as far as that's concerned. So, yeah, long time ago, hard to remember, but yeah. So I'm thinking about these kids that are out there doing stuff like that. I mean, the young people with that are whoever they are with like Antifa and BLM, they need to be incarcerated. There's no two ways about that. That's a fact. You know, because and I don't even buy the whole thing of you know Soros is back and everything. I heard somebody else say they don't really buy into all that, and a lot of these people that are considered very wealthy or well-to-do may not actually be purchasing real estate with their own money. It could be equity from the bank on something else that they own, that they purchase something. I mean, that's way you can do things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know for sure. But for people to actually back the destruction of things that people have built in general, that's really repulsive. I mean, when you think about it, if you've watched any place in your area or your town being built up and you think, whoa, that's nice. That's a nice little mall or something close to my home, or our town's thinking about building like a big hotel up by the highway and maybe another restaurant, like a real nice place or something. And you watch these people uh, build things just to see other people just tear it down. I mean, like if, for instance, in Paris, they're not destroying other people's property. They're not destroying, like, I think it's like, what would you call it? Like their embassy or whatever they call their White House, their Capitol building. And they're not fighting each other. They're against the established government having their hands in everything. That's really been on my mind. Just what rights do governments have to look at every aspect of our lives and have their fingers in every single thing we do? I don't take too kindly to it. That's my personal life. Everybody else is screaming about their flipping rights, you know? Just when is too much government, you know? When is where do we draw the line on what is too much in our life, you know? Well, I believe when they start coming in and they're telling you what you can or can't do in your personal life, in your home, with your children, with schools, with medication, or any of that. When they start crossing those lines, they're fucking crossing them. They're coming in. It's just like them coming in and saying, I'm crawling in your bed with you. Oh, yeah, well, that's not going to go over so big. And that's as personal as I take these assaults towards us, you know. Or much worse, there's one of your grandbabies and I'm going to crawl in bed with her. Oh, okay, so the law, you want to write a law, and they already have, by the way, that tells you that you can go ahead and do something like that, and there's nothing I can do about it if they choose to back the abusers. What's going on? And just why did our government pay people that were locked up that were part of Antifa? I mean, I can't prove, but evidently, like, some of these people got $6,000 by way of damages for getting incarcerated for being a part of a group that was destroying a city. I think it was Portland, if I'm not mistaken. You know? So, I mean, there's a lot going on. And, the thing is, why even have a two-party system? Why not just have, okay, you're going to talk about a bill, yay or nay? You know, um, what are the pros and cons of the whole thing? Look at the monarchy over in England. There was not a two-person system, and they have a hand in owning a major part of other people's property around the world. So the way they handle their government, evidently with a one-party totalitarian system, seemed to work for them for generations. Long time. But I think you get my point. I'm sure there was people that would consider themselves Republican or for their Republican or democracy, whatever that means nowadays. To me, a democracy used to indicate that there was actually some sort of choice, that within our system we could have a differing view and actually vote on it, and it would mean something. But somehow around the 90s or so, it seemed that all changed. I mean, I knew it was coming, and that's part of their agenda too, to get everybody arguing and fighting. But and then if I say, well, I would just want like a one party system, well, then here comes globalism, or there's another word for it, I guess I can't think of it right this second, but yeah, I think you know what I mean, like a unified government, the one world government. But there's another name for it that I was searching for. But oh well, but yeah. So it's all around a bummer. I mean, thinking about the kids for the future and stuff. You know, what measures can we take? I mean, we are fighting our own government, and they are working with other governments around the world for control over the people. That's not a nice thing. It's a war without. Okay, well, they have their wars that they can take and put money to and spread it out between this person, that person, and um, arms supplier, or somebody that has food or clothing, or for their military efforts, or ammunition, or all these things, even toilet paper, whatever. I'd like to see the toilet paper bill for the military. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Huh. I wonder how much a roll of toilet paper costs them, or it cost us taxpayers through them. I had a report that I had shown different things. It was about, maybe 8 years back or so. Like a toilet seat was like $150. A bolt for a certain, um, I can't remember what it was that they were doing, but it was like a carriage bolt, um, with a nut on it, was something like $6.95 or something. And they used millions of these things, And I had a whole list, of just a gamut of, like, where we could go in town and buy it for, like, considerably less money, and how the government was gouging us on all these little things here and there throughout their operations. It's really quite incredible, you know. But yeah, we're being screwed. Yeah, all of us, all over the world, our governments are handing us what they want to hand us, and I'm not too big on handouts when I've been the worker. I don't take kindly to somebody saying, "You're less than me because you actually do physical work." Is that right? Well, I have a brain too. I just decided to stay physically fit because it's one of my things. How about you? you know. So also, knowing what they know and learning what they've learned is also one of my things. So you know. So who's who in the zoo, right? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of intelligent people out there. The majority of the very smartest ones definitely are not government officials. That's a fact. You can see, like, talk to your average Joe, and he can maybe tell you the molecular structure of a daisy, or, yeah, so, or the components of a certain chemical or byproduct. Or, I mean, there is a lot of smart people out here. I mean, not masses, but I mean, there's smart people out there. If you sat down and you talked to somebody that was into agriculture, for instance, that can actually grow food, and then set them next to somebody that is maybe a member of Congress, you'd see two different individuals. One that is a physical laborer, but has to have the mindset of a scientist to do what they do. And it's a whole nother type of human being. It really is. Are them people in the White House, are they human? I don't know. I don't know. I've seen a couple of them in person, but a while back. But I don't know. I don't. Doug didn't even sleep last night. Tomorrow's his birthday, but he's been my dishwasher went kaput, so been looking for another one of them. Then he was making some other deal with somebody on something. But I got up and he was like working on his bills. He made coffee. That's what woke me up. I smelt the coffee. Yeah, I'm one of them that actually woke up and smelt the coffee. So, but yeah, he didn't even sleep. Oh, yeah, and then he has some stuff to do today. So he'll probably, if he falls asleep later today, he might sleep for a day and a half. Never know. I was going to bake him a cake, and I haven't for many years, but he has been rather pleasant. So, but he's just going to pick one up, you know. So I told him just pick out what you want, and I'll make it. Yeah, save on the work. Yeah. Anyway, geez, we got so many irons in the fire right now. I got like two different rooms I've got like totally tore apart so I can start remodeling. And then I got everything else to do. So it's kind of like a little bit of at a time type of thing, living in the middle of helter skelter just to get stuff done through the day, and work on things little at a time. Eventually, you're going to see me put probably paneling in here. I'm thinking like I'm allergic to everything, so I think I'm just going to go with maybe a wood paneling on the walls and the ceiling, and then I'm thinking of like a fake marble tile, like maybe some of them squares, um, that looks kind of like marble or something like that on my floor. I'm not sure yet. I might just plywood the whole thing, or I might know if you know what Luann board is. Depends on my money situation at the time when I get around to it. But I do want to do it by myself. So I just got this thing about that, really. And I've got it already planned out and exactly the footage of everything that I need. And I don't need or want anybody's help. So, but you will watch me do that eventually here. It might take me a while. Unless I get driven crazy in between here and then. That can happen. It might. I hope it doesn't, but it's a possibility. So, yeah, such is life, right? You never know what the day's gonna bring. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. See what else is going on. I mean, the same old thing all the time is their upsets with their threats about nuclear warfare. And I mean, this stuff has been going on my entire life. It's just when it isn't one thing, it's another, and it's always something. And if there isn't one Um, like bad situations in some city, it'll be another city. It's like there's always going to be, as far as I'm concerned, as far as what I've seen, a certain amount of chaos that we're never going to get rid of. But I do know that they want to make it much worse than it is. And that is concerning to me because, you know, no, we didn't gather in groups of people and destroy our children when we were adolescents. No, we did not. And there's something seriously wrong in all that. And the parents and the people and the kids and everybody, where's some emotional help for these youths, and the parents? Where is the help from the public officials that these people actually need? I mean, not so much that, yeah, they could come and try and destroy some of my stuff, and yeah, I'd fight back. But, or maybe not. Maybe I just let them do something to me and say, fuck it, I don't care, I'm done. I'm done with this shit. I've had enough. But I could only see all this getting worse. They're so worried about some cupcake saying that they want to be a kitty today, and they're more concerned about who's going to be a kitty than who's actually needs emotional care. They're not worried about these people at all, and that's the part that bothers me because I know it's a fact and they know it's true. Of course they're upset and they're unstable. They're reaching out and they're telling there's a whole generation of young people calling themselves they and them, and come on babies, please get a grip. Please, I am begging you young people, come on. Just be you. Is there anything wrong at looking at yourself and thinking, okay, well, I'm not short like a lot of women, but I know I'm a woman, so I'm going to just make the best of who I am and I'm going to be good with that. Is there really, without the bullshit all in front of the children and stuff? Don't change yourself. Don't you people know that you're beautiful? Don't you get it? You know? You're inside there. You're not what you look like right now. I believe that we all have eternal bodies that we were promised. And you could think, well, how could that happen? Well, how did you happen? How did life happen? You explain to me the first biological entity and how that was formed, and tell me that having something that could last for eternity isn't a possibility. Of course it is. Anything's possible. Look around you, you know? It's pretty incredible when you just look at it like that, you know? I'm just trying to instill some common sense in people so they can gather and have that in common instead of the common chaos that's going on. It is sad, and a lot of times I'll get a little worked up and mad, but mostly what will get me worked up is listening to somebody that I trust, and if they're having an upsetting day and they put it on other people, I'll get radical, and then it will come out when I'm speaking to everybody else, and it might not sound like I want it to sound, or it will be perfect for the situation that they brought out in me. So, and Doug knows this of me too. I don't ever, ever, ever strike first. You do something to me, and I might not do something back to you, but I might. And if you do a lot of things to me, you can probably expect that I'm probably going to do at least one thing back. I can guarantee you that. So that's really my personality right there. But if people leave people alone, typically your average person isn't going to say a word or bully anybody. You wouldn't have to call me a bigot if you just leave me alone, you know, and stop trying to push who you want to be on the rest of the world and make it acceptable. Okay, you little fucking freak, I accept you. Now shut the fuck up and leave us alone and leave the kids alone. You know? It's pretty simple, isn't it? That's the way it always worked on this planet before these forceful, pushy, demonic freaks tried implementing more of their shit just to take our rights away and to try and control us more. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to teach everybody how to be the most radical thing out there without harming a person. But yeah, be a free radical. Look that up too. What is a free radical? It might interest you. So that's kind of what I am in the system of humankind. So that's what I consider myself. All right, everybody. I appreciate you joining me. You have a really beautiful night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.